I'm working on a collection of poems devoted to performance, stage performance women do in the world, all kinds of performance. And I'm opening with a poem called Dress Rehearsal, which has an epigraph from Susan Brown Miller, and it reads, "Women are all female impersonators." The curtain rises slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, gathering momentum as my feet and point in red satin shoes are subtly revealed. Ankles, calves, backlit just enough so you can't quite see the color of my skin. Thighs, hips, the stiff ruff of tutu. Panting, cinched waistline, bust, shoulders, arched arms and hands. Reaching for something just above my head. Now, I can't read, just above the fringe that is now gliding up past my turning head. You can't see my face yet, but surely you'll see exactly what you've come for. That jade shag field full of steaming horses, a zookeeper or two, star-crossed lovers, a small flight to Oz, anything you want. But don't ask me to give it to you. All I can do is provide you with your mask. I reach to you with it. Can you see it start to frown? That masterpiece of sleight of face that's yours and yours alone. And I have a poem about a recurring nightmare I had during my childhood. And it was sort of like a dance. It involved an evil man trying to break into my house and get me. And so I'd run around the house, locking all the doors and windows, and I could never quite get them all locked. And it was like a dance, and so I titled this Tango. At first, I think there'll still be useful daylight out. The light is bright as pain. When he darts past the picture window and disappears sideways into cedars, his coal-black waistcoat and stovepipe hat a shock against the green. And the parlor's Swiss-dot curtains puff in sways of breeze that shout, "Open, the window is open." I sprint toward the kitchen door, whose lock is also open. Red-hot deadbolts slam through my head. As he slips across the narrow gap the door makes when it snaps open on its own, but he's past it now, streaking like a rat along the rushing yellow clapboards to that one secret place I never managed to secure. And he's gotten there first, of course he has. His cold, bespectacled eyes ignite in utter joy as I freeze, speechless, in his final bolt of light. Then he yanks apart the backdrop onto night. And the final performance is something a lot of us are doing all the time. It's called One Day in Workshop. One day in workshop, I present a poem I love, just the way it is, and the class likes it too. And they say, "Why don't you send it out?" And I say, "I have, but it always been rejected with no comment." And I start to cry right there in the room, and I'm mortified. But I finally let it all out, how every breath I take is poetry, how poetry has saved me, how every word I write connects with the deepest parts of me, and that this poem is it. And all at once, the others shrink away from me, slap their copies of my poem down, lurch out of their chairs, and stagger backward, staring in disbelief at the pages, which are now drenched, oozing, reddening with blood that soon drips and spills all over the table, and hidden fault lines of my life are ruptured at last, my poem threatening to drench the entire room with tears and blood. And though this has never happened at any previous workshop, someone turns to me and sneers, "All this blood, all these tears, such a cliche." Oh.